Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's the Gamers Weekly here. I'm your host, DanTalk64, and today we are going to be playing some more Tom Clancy's The Division. This is going to be episode 3 for Mission Masters, which is one of 3 of our series we have done with Tom Clancy's The Division this week. Actually, one of 4, I should say. We also have Campaign Masters, Civilian Overwatch Agency, and Dark Zone Adventures. Sorry we can't really post Dark Zone Adventures. Me and Ghost are at a different gamer score, so I don't really like the way that they've kind of implemented that, because it really, we've been trying to get footage for Dark Zone a lot, so it makes it really hard when we have 2 completely different gamer scores, and I try to get on lower characters, and then you can't get on because he's on a different Dark Zone bracket. So that's why we haven't really been able to do much with Dark Zone Adventures. We really have been trying to, it just does not end up working out in our favor, so that's why we normally end up going with Mission Masters, Campaign Masters, and Civilian Overwatch Agency. Eventually we will be able to post some Dark Zone Adventures, because I know Dark Zone is really good to be able to farm in there to get a lot of good loot. All the steal caches and going rogue guides and what builds you should use in that, and I really want to be able to get into that, but we just can't, unfortunately. So eventually we will, but for right now we're just going to stick to kind of the 3 main. We will have another episode of Campaign Masters this week. That'll be episode 4, I think. And then we're going to be doing our 3rd episode for Mission Masters. Now, this is going to be for the Falcon Lost incursion. Last episode we did with Mission Masters, we actually ended up doing the Clear Sky incursion, and a lot of you guys really enjoyed that, so I'm really glad that you guys did. So that's why we are bringing you a Falcon Lost. I'm going to try to keep the gameplay footage as much as it was original, as much as possible, because I don't really want to cut it out, just so that anyone who wanted to kind of see what we ended up, the strat that we ended up going with, what we ended up using. So this is probably going to end up being a little bit longer video, but it'll definitely be filled with a lot of information, so make sure you guys have your notebooks out, because it's going to be a lot. But as you guys can tell, kind of what a lot of people do in this Falcon Lost incursion is they go straight down to this little bunker area, and that'll be just kind of right in the middle of the map. Now, they actually ended up releasing a patch to where, or an update or something like that, to where it allows the APC to shoot the mortars down into there. It used to be where if only it was at the slightest angle that it could actually end up hitting you, but now it can hit you if you're not careful enough, so you really got to make sure you're watching out for that. This is still a very good place to do the incursion. It's really safe. It's really safe because not all the enemies will end up going down there. You only see really the shotgunners and assault guys that'll be just kind of attacking you and stuff like that, so you really got to make sure you watch out for that. Now, I would honestly prioritize every round to make sure that you're killing those shotgunners immediately. The shotgunner is going to bring you and your team the most trouble, especially with the LMB. The LMB shotgunners are really overpowered, because not only can they throw grenades, not only can they use shotguns that can pretty much one-shot you, and your teammates, but they also have these ranged weapons as well. So you have an AR or something that they use before they get up close and personal with the shotguns, and they will rush you really quickly. If they're not already on you within a couple of seconds of the next wave, then you got to really make sure you take those valuable seconds and prepare, because you're really going to need those extra seconds to be able to kind of get your ultimates up. I wouldn't really necessarily recommend using your ults, because you really want to try to save them whenever whenever you have one person going up and running the bomb. But I would just definitely recommend having something down there to be able to protect you and your teammates, whether it be smart cover you could try to run. As you can see, Hitman is actually running the support station with the ammo, and that's really well, because ammo can be a bit hard to find in this, because you only have those 2 restock crates, and they only restore every, I think, few rounds. I can't remember exactly. I think every bomb they will restock, so make sure you guys get that as soon as possible. If your teammates are run out of ammo and you're just kind of hunkered down right there, make sure you pick up those restocks. Do not be afraid to pick up those restocks. I know they only respawn in a couple of rounds, which kind of can seem a little bit annoying. I don't know why they decided to put them like that. I mean, I can understand, because you're not always getting if you didn't have it like that, then you'd be getting infinite ammo, so I can understand that. But if you look at the Clear Sky, they actually have 2 of the same restocks that will actually infinitely restock your ammo. So I mean, it doesn't necessarily affect you too much, because you know, if you have somebody running the support station with the ammo crate, it will eventually, it will definitely end up helping you out the most. It'll end up benefiting you, because you know, you'll have that infinite ammo in your inventory ammo, I should say. And you can just kind of see us prioritizing those shock drones. You really want to make sure you're taking those guys out first, because they're going to provide the annoyingness that comes with those types of enemies. I would also recommend having someone run. You can really run. You can be kind of customizable. You can have somebody. You have 2 people running 2 or 1 support station with the ammo if you really needed that really badly. Or you could have just 1 person running with the immunizer, so you could get rid of that status effect. But then again, you kind of have to watch out, because when those drones are coming, you're actually going to end up probably end up blowing them up, because a mortar will come down and hit you. As you guys can see, we're just kind of taking out these shotgunners. If you do end up having shotgunners in that round, only shoot them. Don't worry about anything else. You got to take out those shotgunners, because one stray shotgunner will take down your entire team. As you can see, Bama Boys goes down from that assault guy. He's actually the one with the bomb, so you really want to, it would be really good if he came down like he did. That was really lucky, because then we don't have to go out hunting for it. But most of the time, you're probably not going to end up having that happen, so you really got to make sure you're prepared for that. Use your survivor links. Do not be afraid to use your survivor links. Even if you don't have the most amount of skill power, you can even run triage if you really wanted to. Anything that can keep your team alive. Because the problem is with this incursion is that you either pop it and it's too early, or you pop it and it's too late. And you really want to, honestly, if you want to be in that situation, it's got to be early, because if it's too late, your team is going to end up going down, and it's just not going to be very good. Your team's not going to benefit from it 100%. So that's why I definitely recommend having 1 person run out for the bomb. As you can see, Hitman was our bomber, so we pop a survivor link since we have all 4. Actually, he was running pretty high electronics, so he was able to get his survivor link back relatively quickly. But actually, if you guys can see, the killer popped his super instead of Hitman, which was fine, because he has it obviously will end up refilling for him a lot faster than it would for anybody else, because he's just like wrecking everything. So as long as you have kind of 1 person that can use that survivor link for the bomber, then definitely do that. If you can't, then that's why you have the other 3 people. If you did end up using it for like a shotgun round, do not like freak out, because it will come back. Do not worry. Just run something like triage or whatever you can to get that thing back as soon as possible, because you know, shotgunners are really your main problem with this. Now, when it comes to sniper round, I would not recommend what I did, switching to a shotgun. I don't know why I decided to do that. But you know, it kind of pretty much made my SMG isn't really the best for taking out those snipers, so I kind of had a burst fire here and there. But luckily, someone on our team was running a few snipers here and there. I probably could have ended up just switching back to my sniper, but I decided not to for some reason. But yeah, you could just see the snipers are going to be really annoying. They're going to be the ones that kind of take the most time, because they like to really sit in cover. So if you have something like a flashbang bomb, you can just throw them up there and they will immediately come out of cover, and that's really good, especially for the ones that are really stubborn and don't want to move. That's what I recommend. I'm actually running flashbang and overheal, as the rest of my team are. We have 4. Everyone's running overheal, survivor link. We have I think a shock turret maybe, and we have the support station. So, and we also I think have pulse as well. So whatever you can run for your team that will help really just benefit your team the most is what you're going to want to end up using. As you can see, I just kind of rush up here trying to take out these these snipers, because they really will get annoying. They will get on your last nerve. I could have ended up just sniping them, taking a long way, but we really were trying to get this done as time consuming as it is. We were trying to get it done as fast as possible, so you know, that's why I ended up rushing them. I wouldn't necessarily always recommend rushing, because you know, those waves will start, like, even if there's like 1 person left, the waves will end up starting. And you know, if you get stuck in a corner with a bunch of these shotgunners, they're gonna mess you up so bad, and you could be really far away from your team and they won't be able to get you. Now, if you do end up going down far from your team, don't flip out too much, because you will end up respawning. That's something that I think a lot of people kind of overlook, or not necessarily, but I do see some people like flipping out, like, oh gosh, we gotta wipe. But you don't need to, they will respawn. That's kind of another thing with only having one person run up there to get the bomb. If you do have Survivor Link, they will normally end up being fine, depending on their toughness. I would recommend having one person with like a load of toughness, you know, max armor, 75% armor or weapon mitigation. Just as much stuff for that tank. You have to make that person as tanky as possible, and I kind of recommend that as well. But you definitely want to make sure you have a lot of damage, because these guys are a lot of these enemies are pretty tanky. They're only level 32, you know, purples. But you know, if you're going to end up running this on hard, you're probably not going to be the best outfitted unless you know you've been playing for a really long time. So that's really why we're making this videos, just to kind of help newer people who are just getting into incursions and stuff, or maybe you've ran it a couple of times and you're just trying to figure out the best, most time-saving way to get done with this faction to get, you know, some of the newer gear. So I'm just trying to help you. Excuse me, I'm just trying to help you guys out to effectively kill off these enemies and what you should be running and what builds I'd recommend. So as you can see, a few of those hackers will come out, or rogue agents, whatever you want to call them. I call them hackers because they take over your turrets and stuff like that. But yeah, you'll have them at about round 6. So they do get annoying because they are pretty tanky. They have shotguns as well, and they throw the seeker mines, and they have the turrets. Make sure you kill those turrets, because even if one's left, they will definitely deal a lot of damage to you. They're not something to be reckoned with. They really will take you down. I think a lot of people oversee them, and they end up dying from them in the long run. So as soon as you see one, just take them out, and you know, that'll pretty much end up helping you a lot with taking the actual agent down. And then you just kind of see me over here. I'm just trying to provide a little bit of overwatch for my teammates from the other side. They're all kind of stacked up over there. You can see some people leaving to go get some of those kills that are just way out there. If there are a lot of enemies spread out and there's only like a few left, you will eventually just have to end up going out there, because it'll just take up way too much time. And another thing is, they're not going to move, really. They're just going to kind of stick in one area, and they're not necessarily going to move very much. So you really, if you could throw grenades to get them out of cover. I actually ended up throwing a smoke bomb, or a smoke bomb, which I probably shouldn't have. I should have thrown something where he'd run away, maybe like a lethal, not necessarily a tactical, because then he'd just kind of stay in that one position. But yeah, as long as you're kind of getting those enemies out of cover with the flashbang bombs, like I was saying, throwing your lethal grenades to try to get them running, whatever you can do is really going to help you out taking those guys out. Also, you can shoot these guys with flashbangs, and they'll just kind of sit there, allow you to pick them off really easily. Definitely recommend that. Really, you need that, because as you can see, that shock drone just like completely just like killed me right there, got me right there. And that was really annoying, because if there were end up being shotgunners right there, I probably would have ended up dying, because you know, they will come up in those little railing areas right there where the mortar shoots, so you really got to watch out for that. So yeah. So as you're kind of progressing for the first 4 waves, the first guy with the bomb is going to be an assault. He will normally come down kind of with the rest of them. He's not really super hard to kill. He's just like a gold assault character. He's level 32, so he's not super difficult to kill. So try to get him to come down where you guys are. And that's kind of what I recommend with all the guys that are holding the bombs, is you really want to make sure that they're in one area that you can get to pretty effectively. Throw your supers out, make sure you can get them, whether it be close to where you need to place them, turn off the turret, maybe it's down there in a little area right here. Whatever you can do to get them as close as possible, and you know, as accessible, if you will, as possible, is really going to help you benefit from it in the long run. As you can see, these assault guys will jump down. They're just kind of chill right there. We have a few snipers up as well as some drones. We got a few assault guys left. Now for the 8 waves, you will have the bomber, then will end up being the sniper. They're not going to move. You're just going to have to rush them and end up killing them. They're not going to come down. They're just going to sit up there. You're going to camp. You can try to snipe them at a distance and then, you know, go up and take them out. But the best way is just to run up there with a shotgun and just end up taking them down. Because another thing you do have to worry about, though, if you end up doing that, is you got to really watch out for those turrets. Those turrets will end up taking you down. They have a lot of stagger, so you're going to be, you know, being hit a lot. You're not going to be able to shoot you're not going to be able to hit all of your shots that you're trying to shoot at the guy. So that's what I recommend. We have, I think we send 2 people up there to go, you know, take him out, because those snipers are really deadly from a range. They have those things that can shoot you and they'll blind and deaf you, which is can be a really annoying and a real pain whenever you're trying to take them out from a range. As you can see, I'm trying to shoot him, her, whoever, the bomber, through the little railing right there. It didn't end up working so well, but yeah, we ended up taking her down. We got the bomb, and then we just send 2 people back down. Make sure you always have 2 people in a place that's pretty safe. So really that one little area right there, you can see Hitman and me just kind of chill down there. That's really where you want to remain staying most of the time. You want to have 2 people down there, just so that if those people outside do end up going down, they will end up respawning. So that's what I definitely recommend, having 2 people just kind of chilling down there. You can send maybe 3 out and have 1 just down there, but you know, you don't necessarily need that many people up there and about, unless you really unless you're really struggling with those turrets shooting you. Then yeah. So as you can see, we actually ended up having 2 people go this time, 1 to put on the bomb and 1 to turn off the turrets. What some people would actually end up doing is having 3 people, 1 to turn off both turrets. You don't want to do that, because if you do end up having the survivor link active, which we didn't even have the survivor link active for them, but if you do end up having that active, you don't really need 3 people to go up there. You'll just have an extra chance of someone going down. It could really cause you to end up wiping. We actually took a little bit longer than we should have. All the enemies ended up respawning, so as soon as you get that bomb, try to get there as soon as possible, because those enemies will end up respawning and they're just going to cause you a lot of trouble. All the enemies ended up respawning. We had more snipers, more shotgunners, more turrets, or not more turrets, more drones, so that was really annoying, but we ended up taking them out pretty quickly. So yeah, for your 11 waves, so it goes 4, 8, and 11, and 15, and those are the waves where the bombs will end up spawning. You'll have the bomb guys end up spawning. So wave 11 is going to be a heavy machine gunner. Those guys are really annoying because they will come down, they'll kind of camp, kind of like the snipers will. They'll come down like the assault and the what are they called, the assault. So they're also pretty tanky, honestly, unless you have like a really high damage build. You're not really going to be able to take them out super quickly. So they're just kind of one of those bullet sponge enemies that you're just going to have to take out, even if you don't really want to. And I think they end up spawning at wave 9 or 10, I think, is when you first start seeing them spawn, sometime in there. And yeah, they are pretty much a pain. You will have those healer guys that'll spawn, I think, wave 12, 13. So you really got to make sure you watch out for those guys, because they will kind of camp in the back, and they'll throw down those heal packs for those heavies, and those heavies will sit in that one little area, they'll take down all their health, and then you have to reload, and they'll just regen so fast. So try to make sure you're taking out those healers as fast as possible. If you can't take out those little support stations that they place, but they normally place them behind cover, and they're kind of difficult to get to, especially when you're trying to dodge fire from the APC's mortar or those turrets if you're close enough, or maybe you got the LMG guy shooting at you, a few snipers here and there, shotguns. There's so many different things that can, you know, go on when you're trying to shoot those support stations. So if you can't get to it, don't worry about it. Okay, yeah, wave 9 is when they kind of really start to spawn. As you can see, they will camp, and then they'll kind of come down like this assault guy is, but yeah, you just want to make sure you're watching out for that. And then for wave 15, you will have the rogue agents, and he will be the one to hold the bomb, the final bomb, and that can be really annoying, because they are pretty tanky, and the fact that he's like the bomb holder, I think he has more help. And he deals a little bit more damage, I think, but you correct me if I'm wrong on that. You can leave it in the comment section if I am wrong. I don't think so, but you know, who knows. This is Tom Clancy's Division we're talking about, but yeah, so the agent isn't too difficult. He will come down kind of like the assault will. I think he ends up coming down for us on the assault, so you know, or like the assault and shotgunners, so it doesn't necessarily matter where he ends up going, because he will stay pretty close to where you are, because he is using a shotgun, so he's not going to go super far like the snipers will, or like the LMG guys will, so he'll stay pretty close. Like I said, when you're taking those guys down, make sure you're watching out for those seeker mines. They might not deal a lot of damage, but you can have like 3 to 4 guys throwing them out there for you, and they will get super crazy insane, so you really got to watch out for that. Make sure you're dodging those things as much as possible, because they do end up staggering you, and that stagger may not seem like it deals that much damage to you, but in the long run, you'll probably end up getting hit by some stray shotgun or stray sniper bullet or whatever. Maybe an LMG will just be sitting right there, and you won't be able to do much, because you're staggered, or you maybe have extra shock drones out there, so you really got to watch out for those things. And then you have those turrets, which you really got to take out quickly, because you don't want to have those things just sitting out there, because they'll do damage to you, they'll do damage to your teammates, and it's just not going to be very good when you have a lot of these enemies shooting at you. So that's what I'd recommend for taking out those rogue agents or hackers, whatever you want to call them. As you can see, I actually ended up getting shocked right there, and me and Bamboo Boys go down. So that's like a perfect example of why you got to take down those shock drones as soon as possible, because that will happen a lot. It actually glitched out here. Bamboo Boys couldn't get revived by anyone, so I think I don't know what happened right there, but we do end up reviving them though, which is nice. So as you can see, taking out that shock drone finally, and yeah. So once we hit wave 11, there will be a lot of those LMG guys, as well as the main LMG guy that you're going to want to make sure you're killing. Kill those guys as soon as possible, because they're going to get really annoying. Those guys are really going to be the main reason why your waves are going to be taking a little bit longer. These guys as well, as you can see, that guy throws that little turret down, and we end up shooting it down really quickly. You see Hitman taking it down really fast. So yeah. So you could see me just kind of running around looking, see how many LMGs. There are about 4 or 5 LMG guys just sitting right there. So yeah. And I think we ended up just like rushing them. And then you see, obviously, you gotta make sure you're watching out for that APC. He will rain down fire on you, and it's just super, super annoying. So definitely recommend trying to go for a high toughness build. Really want that. You don't necessarily, like I said, I'm kind of going with like a lot of damage and toughness. I kind of really would like to be more of a tank on this. I don't want to be super squishy, because those enemies will come at me like super fast. So yeah, I think I'm running at about, I'm not going full on tank, but I have maybe like 65% weapon damage mitigation, and then I have, I think, 300,000 some toughness, or 250,000 toughness. I can't remember. It's decently high, but it's not the highest it could be. But then again, I don't necessarily have the best of gear I could be using. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you're new to our channel, all subscribers would definitely help us out a lot. Comment down below what you guys like to see next. If you want to see build guides for like new armor sets, maybe the new incursion, dragon's nest, maybe just underground operations, anything you guys want to see, just let me know down in the comment section. Any good ideas for mission masters. So yeah, I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of the video. And yeah, I may end up cutting it a little bit, because we have, only 4 more waves, but it definitely will take a long time. And I don't think you guys really want to be watching the rest of this. So I'll cut it down just a little bit. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the Gamers Weekly. I've been your host, Talk64, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace!